Hey everybody, I've been working out in the field today most of the day, and it was hot, buddy. I was burning up. But there's something I'm hearing a lot of talk going back around again, and there's nothing new under the sun, folks. Uh, they're talking about the threat of nuclear war again, and Russia putting missiles in Cuba again, and in other places. So that means we're going to have to put ours in other. Come on, folks. I was alive when Kennedy died. I was alive. Now, this man gives a speech talking about secret societies and all this shit and how he basically wasn't a part of it. And then he talks about going to the moon, not because it is hard, but because we can, or whatever that speech was. Then his head flew apart with one shot. Fantastic bullet. Or three shots, I think they're saying that that clown was supposedly got off. Um, I was alive and watched the moon landings live. I don't want to have to go back into the fact that cameras had film inside them, folks. They didn't. They weren't a data package that you could send across space. They didn't have a strong enough amplifier to amplify a signal 263,000 miles across space. They couldn't even help. How many radio stations did they have across the country in order for each city to even be able to pick up music or anything on the car stereos or even a house stereo if you lived out in the country far enough? They didn't have the power to send uh, video signals and audio signals from the moon all the way to the TV, folks. Come on. I lived through the Cold War. This was stupid too, folks. They told us when we were at school, if you're ever here at the school and you see a nuclear blast, first thing, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Get to your desk immediately and get under it. I think they built the desk to be strong enough to survive the blast. But according to them, the blast would be so bad that not a whole lot of you would be left. So I guess you needed to be under your desk so they could identify what was ever left. This is the crap they told us, folks. Russia claimed to have nukes. America claimed to have nukes. Did you ever ask yourself, well, where did they get their technology? If you know anything about the real history, they when they beat Germany and Hitler supposedly and killed Hitler, or he killed himself, whatever the story is. All these scientists, they claim how Germany was years in advance of everybody else. And if they were able to keep going, they would have controlled the world. Well, they supposedly separated, or they pulled all the German scientists, got them all together, and Russia and America divided them up like two teams. Russia took part of them, America took the other part. And both countries started space programs right afterwards. They also, both countries, became superpowers once they claimed they had nukes. Oh yeah, and they claim the funny thing is, they both got scientists from the same German war. Uh, they both came up with space programs. They both came up with nuclear weapons, and they both became superpowers. Do you think that any of it could be a lie? Any of you ever seen a nuclear bomb go off? I haven't. I've seen some big explosions with dynamite and shit. I've seen no nuclear bomb go off. The only thing you've ever seen of a nuclear bomb going off was on TV as well. Let's see. Oh, speaking of nuclear, now they told us when I was a kid, it would only take. I mean, they wanted us scared to death of nukes. They told us in school, all it would take is 3 nukes set off at the same time on anywhere on the earth, and it would throw us into nuclear winter and another ice age. Well, I can't honestly say they ever set off 3 of them all at once, but there sure is a lot of countries that make claims that they've tested nuclear weapons. Now, all these nuclear weapons that they claim they tested, they also used to tell us, and you've even seen it in the movies, folks. Broken Arrow, where he claimed he's gonna send a missile to Hawaii and nobody will be able to live there for 10,000 years because of the radiation and shit. That's what they told us, you know. Even if everybody didn't die, you wouldn't be. Those areas would be, if a nuclear bomb went off, those areas would be so bad that nobody could live there for 10,000 years before the radiation would die off. That's what they told us. Russia claimed they had a nuclear power plant. Nuclear powered. They claimed they had a nuclear accident. Nuclear. They claimed 2 cores melted down. Now they say these cores, once they start melting down, they can't get water to cool them, that they'll burn straight through the floor, right straight through the bedrock, and I guess eventually come out the other side of the earth. That's what they say. Chernobyl now, they claim to have built like a 50-foot thick wall roof all the way around these 2 melted down nuclear cores. And that this city that was there where this nuclear power plant was, everybody left immediately, leaving everything behind. And I don't know if anybody has still ever went back there, but it'd been like, last I heard, 50, 60 years since anybody's even went into the area because the radiation was so bad. If that's all true, folks, if Chernobyl would have, the radiation because of the 2 power core, or the 2 nuclear cores that melted down there, if the radiation would have been so bad that nobody could go back there for more than, or since, nobody's been able to go back there because of the radiation. What happened in Nagasaki and Hiroshima? They claim those were nukes. The only nukes ever used in wartime. People never left there. Yeah, people got some radiation poisoning, I guess, that was in close enough to where the initial blast went off. But they're living there today. They never left. They survived it, and then they've already moved back in, I believe, to that area and started rebuilding or rebuilt those two cities. They're not like Chernobyl, sitting there. Nobody's come back still yet. Explain that. How many tests you think they've done on the Earth? How many? How many? I mean, how many has America done? Supposedly, how many has Russia done? Everywhere, underground, above ground, out on the over the ocean, in deep into the water, wherever. Uh, like I was saying, they claim that these nuclear cores, when they melt down, they there's nothing that can stop them. They'll melt right through the bedrock and just keep on going. I guess what, to the self-perpetuating molten iron core that we have in the center, and what happens then? Uh, or does it just go right through that and come out the other side of the world? And when it comes out the other side, will it start back down? Uh, do you guys remember not too long ago, Japan had 6 nuclear cores melt down? That should have been enough right there to move everybody out of Japan, or at least 3/4 of Japan. It's not that big, folks. It's longer than it is wide. Why ain't the radiation kept everybody ever from going anywhere near it? Shit don't add up, folks. They don't even talk about that shit anymore. They claimed that it was going to kill every fish and everything that's in the damn Pacific Ocean. Has it? I don't know. I haven't been out there in a long time. There's a thing that's out in Arizona, and it's called, I think, the Arizona Crater. People, the sun, it's a big old freaking dent out of the ground, a plug out of the ground. It definitely ain't no crater from no meteorite. And no asteroid would have made it through the atmosphere to hit the desert and make that big hole. And it's already been proven. The meteorite is made of iron, they claim. And it was a big enough piece of iron flying through the atmosphere that's on just bright red from the heat when it hit that ground out there. But sand. They can't prove any what, or they claim they can't prove why it happened now, because so many people have been out there with metal detectors that they've never even found a piece of iron anywhere around the area, not inside the hole, not outside the hole, nowhere under the hole. They've never been able to find a piece of iron, but they still claim an iron meteorite made that coming out of space. Well, let me tell you what I think it was, because I've seen it. And I know you guys have seen underground explosions. Even I think they've even claimed you've probably seen nuclear explosions underground. And when it goes off, you see the earth lift and then drop back down. And when it drops back down, it's in a hole. Well, when you're talking about sand, you bury an explosion underneath sand, you're going to get a pretty deep hole. Pretty big hole, because that shit It ain't got roots and it ain't got clay and shit in it holding it all together. It's sand. I say they did some kind of bomb test out there back before a lot of people were even out west. And I say it's one of those underground tests because there's no, like I said, there's no iron around this place. I think now one of the things they like to scare you with nukes is the EMP, electronic magnetic pulse, that they claim happens after every nuclear explosion. They claim it takes out all the electronics, all of it. Your car won't work. Nothing in your house will work. No power lines. You can't get no power to your house. Nothing will work in the area wherever this nuclear EMP happens. And they claim they can just set a nuclear blast off above the city where it doesn't hurt any buildings and take out with the EMP part, they can take out everything. Nobody will be able to drive a car. There won't be no electricity. There won't be no computers, no phones, no nothing. They shut everything down. Well, people, I hate to tell you, but with all your technology today, they can push a button and shut all your electronics down and never harm a wire in a wall or never harm a piece of wood that a building might be built out of or a block or anything, and shut all your shit down. Your cars, all your houses that are connected through your phones and shit, all your appliances, all your fucking shit, folks. They can shut it all down with a push of a button. Let me tell you, my daughter bought a damn Nissan Rogue. I got in this thing, man. We're taking it for, or she's done bought it and brought it over, taking it for a ride. She puts it in reverse. The camera comes up. Got a big old dash screen on the dash. It's showing her car, the car in the middle of the screen, and you could see every inch all the way around that car. On top of it, right next to it, there's another screen that's got that where when you're backing up and the lines bend, showing the way you're going to go if you're backing up and keep your tires turned the way they are. It's got that screen on it too. So in order for that to happen, folks, for you to be able to see every inch all the way around your vehicle, there has to be at least 4 cameras for that. The backup camera would be another camera that shows you which way your wheels are turning, which way your ass end of your car is going to go. That's a complete another camera. That's 5 cameras on the outside that I've counted. How many they got on the inside? Now this car's got electric brakes, electric transmission, every fucking thing is electric. That's what they want you in. They don't want you driving something like that right there. Because it does have a computer in it, but it ain't hooked to no internet. It ain't hooked to nothing like that. And if they don't really have a EMP that can take out electronics, they can't affect that car. There ain't no cameras on it. There ain't no microphones in it or on it. And I know that for a fact. People, if they convince you that nukes are real, and I think they're about as real as space, but if they convince you for several generations that they have nukes, And EMPs will, if we drop nukes on you, EMPs are going to take your cities out and shit. We don't even have to let them hit the ground. We can blow them up above the ground, take your cities out. You won't have food, nothing. You won't have no money, nothing. You'll be dead. Well, all they would have to do, folks, to really fuck us up, to be truthful with you, they push a button. Or actually, they could blow up something. Maybe 2 or 3 of them somewhere in the United States. It wouldn't even have to hit a building. Just blow something up out in the woods. Just a big, massive explosion. Convince the people that 3 nukes went off inside the United States borders. Homeland. Not Ohio or Hawaii or anything. On the homeland of it. They could cause these 3 massive explosions and then push that button and shut all your shit down and convince you an EMP just took out everything when it really didn't. All they did was turn everything off. Leave it off as long as they want. Everybody starts dying off and shit. They can kick it back on. Send out their militaries and everybody that's been waiting for this and finish off who's left, and they've got everything they want. Am I saying that that's what they're doing? No. Just saying. They can make these 3 explosions go off, convince you an EMP attack has happened. And even though if the explosion didn't have anything to affect your life, the EMP will, because it took out all your electronics. And guess what, Americans? They'll have radio signals that they can get through it so that you can hear something or some way of hearing something. And they'll tell you Russia did it. China did it. Iran did it. Korea did it. One of them. Maybe all of them. And they'll say, we are at war. And your kids and everybody will line up to go fight another war for them and get themselves killed that way. The ones that stay back here will have to deal with the fact that they're not going to turn nothing back on. And you either learn how to build something to get you some power going, maybe locally, or you learn to live without it. They can do that with a push of a button, folks. And I ain't talking no nuclear buttons. They can shut, all you guys that driving them new cars and trucks, they can shut your shit down with a push of a button. Hell, and you guys that like them cars that drive themselves and have all them electronic controls, they can lock your doors. You're driving down a country or a mountain road, minding your own business. Nobody out there. Your door's locked down. You couldn't open them if you wanted to. Your throttle goes to the floor. Your brakes don't work when you're pushing on the brake. Your lever won't go into dry or park. Your handbrake ain't working. And you go flying off in just right off the mountain. Everybody claims you killed yourself. That's how easy this shit could be. You gotta ask yourself, folks, how far do you really think their lives have gone to make you fear them? To make you fear them. I know how it works. How far do you think they're willing to go to make you believe shit that ain't real? To the moon? Oh yeah. People, have a good night. God loves you and so do I. It's just another old man rant. Till the next time.